packaging and all that side of processing. And these are things that, you guys can explore beyond the classroom, beyond learning about the fish. What can we do to it? I mean, what are some of the solutions that we can find, to make packaging and then also to make fish processing quite attractive to the Ghanaian market, so that we can sell it, we can sell it to a wider market and get income from it. And it's a very big and large market that some of us, I know, will be able to take it up and explore. And then we also have, I know, yes, we also have financing in terms of input financing. Fish farmers complains a lot about feed, especially, big farms normally will have contracts with feed processors and all that, and some of them obtain credits. But what about the smallholder farms? They don't have the capacity, some of them do not have the capacity to meet those credits, facilities and all that. So there could be a very robust, business model that can provide this input financing mechanism to fish farmers. And talking of entrepreneurship, in the departments in Ghana, I think most of us will know about Farmerline. And Farmerline, Aloysius Attar was a former student in the department, so he was also a natural resources student. And now he has built a multi-million dollar startup company. Farmerline is providing solutions to thousands of farmers across the continent. And it began while they were in school. They started thinking about solutions. Myself, I wasn't thinking about solutions when I was in school, because I never had anyone, go to any seminar like this for me to engage on these things. I began thinking about solutions when I was doing my national service, or when I was even, done with school. So he was in the department, something, for fish farmers. And he now has a lot of people he's working with, even people from the department west, have been Farmerline and all that. So that is some of the opportunities that we can basically leverage. We can also talk about production tools. Now we have automatic feeders operating elsewhere. We are also working on water quality monitoring and all that. And there are other things, that when you go to the farm there, you may identify something. So the school farm is there for you to identify challenges, and any challenge that you find over there is something similar happening, to fish farmers out there, which they require solution to. But many a times our approach, to getting some of these opportunities and then working around these opportunities must also be something that we are very concerned about. So as students, the need for us to, be engaged, in extracurricular activities, like some of these seminars. Some of us, we come to school and the only place we go is the classroom, and then when we are, when we close, we don't talk to anybody, and then we go to our hostels, which is not a very good character. So we have to build what we call social capital. We have to be able to explore, opportunities. Some of our colleagues go to seminars and all that. And then I will also encourage volunteering and then internships. Okay, volunteering and internships. The more you volunteer and then you intern with some of these institutions out there, the more you get to learn about what they do. And then it gives you the industry perspective, so that you know what to do. Even right when we are done with school, you know what to do, and then prepare to actually explore opportunities. And it is, I always find it very fascinating. I think one of my interns from the department, we were looking for interns, and then she wrote to me personally that she wanted to come and intern with us. At that time, we haven't even sent the flyers out there, but she wrote to us. And after we sent the flyers out, we gave her the priority because you have to be proactive. Okay, opportunities will not run to you. You have to go for them. You have to create them, and you have to, be very, very aggressive in searching for them. So she wrote to us, and then we took her just by that approach. We found her to be a very proactive person, someone who wouldn't sit down for people to come and tell you go and apply for this before she applies. And when they came in, they did so well. And I always say that they are one of our finest interns that we work with. They help us get even data to grow some of our products and all that. And yeah, so it is very good for you to be proactive. And some of you should also be able to, or I will also encourage that you are able to take out additional courses. You don't limit yourself to just aquaculture and whatever you are studying. Okay, the world is changing at a very fast pace, and technology is now the order of the day. So some of you should be engaged. Take courses in data analytics, website development, virtual assistantships, and all that. Some of these courses are free. Some of these courses are offered by ALX, for free, and then Generation Africa for free. And as of now, I will encourage that everyone should be on LinkedIn, because why would you be looking for opportunities and you are not on LinkedIn as a student? So it's like a mismatch. So please, all of you should download LinkedIn, get a very good profiles out there, and that is where you find some of these even international opportunities, international internships, and you could be schooling here and you are doing internship out there. You could be doing internship out there, so it's very, very important for you to, or for all of you to consider being on LinkedIn. So I think that is a bit about what I would want to say, and I also want to appreciate the organizers of this program for this seminar and for bringing you together to come and learn some of these things. And I know it's going to be of value to you and your studies as a whole. Thank you.
For that insightful presentation. Take questions for Mr. Frank, but because he can't hear us. Okay, so we will invite questions for Mr. Frank from the audience. But before we invite questions, I also have a question that I would like to ask. Please, Mr. Frank, at Aqua, do you have internship or training opportunities for our students?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So my question was, do you have training or internship opportunities at Aqua for our students? Do you have training or internship opportunities for our students at Aqua? So I was asking if you have training or internship opportunities for our students at Aqua.
Are you asking whether we have internship or training opportunities at Aqua?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes. So we basically take interns every semester. Let me put it down. So every semester we take interns. So we have every experiment where our lab, interns that work with us during the vacation period. And potentially we are going to take intern for this semester too. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Please question.
I wanted to ask if there are specific qualifications to, I think, qualify for the internship.
Please, she was asking if there are specific qualifications to work or intern at Aqua.
Michael would have to repeat the question for me because I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now? She was asking if there are some specific qualifications that one would need to intern or work at Aqua.
Can't hear.
She was asking.
Specific qualifications. So we work with, because of the nature of the sector we are working in. Okay, we take students from aquaculture, fisheries alike, and then we also take students from computer science. We also take students from electrical engineering department. So I think those are the cross interdisciplinary systems that we work. Then we have a team of software engineers and then a team of maybe for aquaculture students, we are basically involved around partner services in that particular thing. Yeah. And then the engineers are also, and then the developers are around the product development, the soda. For electrical engineers, computer science students, aquaculture, fisheries alike. So that's basically the background that we look at for. But we have worked with students that were done with school and then they came as interns at that particular time. And then we also work with students that were still in school. Okay. We even worked with a student from political science before. Yeah. We worked with a student from political science. That is marketing, and all those stuff normally requires social skills. So we have different departments depending on what we are looking out for, which normally we put, in the core of the internship, whether marketers or whether developers, and then the background, and then we will just, put it out there. But then there are always the leverage on, the student body for us to just get some of these things to them so that they are able to share it across the entire student base. Yeah.
I want to know if the internship comes with accommodation for the students.
I have always liked students to be around where we are located because it doesn't have accommodation. Okay. And although we may provide incentives for students, but it is not obligatory, and then it is not, when we find out that we are doing so well, we might provide you with some monthly allowance. By intent, the whole intent is for you to come and learn, for you to come and get experience. And that is what we basically offer, but we don't offer accommodation. So most of the students that we work with normally reside around our location or our office, which we are located behind the West Coast Mall, on the asphalt street. So those of us that are in Accra, you should know and work
area that we are located, we are at workers. So we encourage, we normally pick those that are around or can have easy access to our office and then go back home because we don't provide accommodation. Yeah.
Please, I want to ask if the interns that come to intern at your place, do you sometimes find them having certain lacking skills that you might want us to work on? Maybe interpersonal skills or hands-on skills, despite learning from the classroom and all.
That is a very important question. I mean, for not just interns, we are also working with people that are like employed by the company. And many times, I mean, some of the challenges that we find, and this is common to all of us. I mean, we might not have the experience on the job, but we may have the knowledge, okay? We may have the knowledge, but the application and how to normally apply could be like a gap. So that is what internship is supposed to provide you. So it is supposed to provide you, compensating the knowledge and then the application down, so that at the end of the day you know what to do, when you are on the field and all that, how to communicate, with farmers, how to communicate with your users. And I think when our last interns, when they came in, when we came in, we were then developing our ERP software. So they were tasked to conduct a survey. They were tasked to, take some data from fish farmers. And, they did it so well. Some of them encountered challenge, sometimes communication, how to call farmers and all that, how to go to them. Sometimes they don't know the right way to do, they don't know how to behave around them and all that. So it is then our mandate, it is then our responsibility to then inculcate in them the culture of the organization and then how we do it. And then when they are done with the internship, they are able to have those skill sets with them so that potentially when they also get out there, they are able to employ it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Frank. There will be a discussion session for the rest of the questions will be asked when we get to that session. Thank you very much for your time. A round of applause, please. Before we move to the next speaker, there are some
from the live stream of the remaining section. But I think the live stream is off. I don't know if you can bring it back on.
Okay, we'll work on that. Before you move to the next speaker, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some people in our midst. So we have here Mr. Dedeka Christopher, the college deputy PRO representing the college of International. With him is Mr. Wasafo Solomon Yami, deputy organizing secretary for the college. Also, we have here representing Renasa, Miss Caesar Grace Ikea, the general secretary for Renasa. And finally, we have Mr. Samuel Atta. Please, if I didn't get the same name right, please pardon me. He is a research consultant and the CEO for Smart Consults. And please a round of applause. This is anything you have We have in our Miss Obin Devida, representing Futsal Farms Limited. She was a student here, and from the lecture, she was a very, very good student. So let's prepare our questions for her so she will answer the questions. Let's introduce Mr. Leah.
Institute for Digital Marketing They are known as IDMC Ghana. And I took a course in advanced data analysis and visualization, where they taught how to use your Excel, your Power BI, your Tableau, and all those kind of things. And after that, I was told like, oh, he's trying to pitch this new idea to which is behind him as an environment. He tried a couple of people. I'm not just bragging, but then it was because I took that course. That was how come I was able to help him out. And when I left, I received a call to come and work with him. Most of my colleagues are at home. Some do not even know what to do with their lives. It is not about saying no to be employed. But then, what do you do? As Frank said, some of us close from school, and that's it. How many of you have actually taken upon yourselves to take extra courses apart from what you learned in class? How many of you? What is that? You wanted to have you done it. When did you come and do it? That's impressive. Alright. So, without further ado, I want to talk about some of the skills that employers seek from, employers require from their employees. And these are some of the things I want to talk about. Okay. So, as we all know, Aqua keeps improving, new technologies coming, and all those kind of things. There are lots of opportunities in aquaculture. Do not let anybody come to you. It's just that we are not really paying attention to fill in the gap. And we all just put in the word. And I think, as I said earlier, if you want to be employed, you need to work for yourself. So why are skilled professionals and why skilled professionals are needed? The industry is rapid growth, as I said earlier, and then employers seek individuals with expertise in fish health, data analysis, and water quality analysis, farm management, and all those kind of things. Fish health is being taught in school, water quality, nutrition, and I really don't know about data collection as a course being taught in school. But then, take intentions, work with these farms, and know what they are about. That's the only way you will know that this is what this farm requires, this is what this company requires, and this is what I'm supposed to work on, so that I will be relevant wherever I find myself. Is that okay? And why skills matter? So aquaculture is becoming more technology driven, and employers prioritize practical expertise alongside academic expertise. So when we are in school, we do say, oh, everything we learn in school do not apply on the field. That's not the entire truth. Some people say, oh, pi r squared cannot buy KK. That's the truth, they cannot buy KK, but they can buy more than KK if we add value to the pi r squared. Am I making sense? Okay.
I think it is good.
Okay. So personally, these are some of the skills that I think my employer or other employers like John and other farm owners would require from students in order to employ them. Number one is your aquatic and animal health management. So over the years, we've had interns at the farm, and it's with no shame to anyone. But then it's quite surprising how students, after 4 years, cannot even identify simple diseases that are affecting the fish. crossing the leg of the fish and they're telling you didn't learn it in school. I remember Dr. Bigman would come to class and fish shell, right? And you stand there and you say that you don't even know what is killing your fish. So imagine you as a fish and as a farm owner, somebody is killing your fish. You ask the person and they tell you, I don't know. I'm not sure they're going to feel good, right? And are you going to employ the person after the intention ends? No, you wouldn't do that. So please, everything that is being taught in class, you can perfect it and then be valuable. That's what I can say. So you should know disease identification and then diagnosis, preventive health, the use of medicated feeds, and even some of the medications that are used in aquaculture. Sometimes these are some of the things that we do not learn in school when it comes to aquaculture and fish health. And so you can take it upon yourself, learn some of the medications that actually help cure fish diseases, what you have to do as an aquaculture person. And sometimes, even after school, you can even go to veterinary school. And recently, WISH and other international bodies are actually looking for experts in fish veterinary, because we really don't do that as well. Your aquaculture cannot end here. After school, you take maybe 6 years might be too much for you, but the money is quite rewarding. So you can actually consider that as well. And implementing biosecurity measures to prevent outbreaks, monitoring stress factors, overcrowding, poor quality. So what I mean by overcrowding and poor quality, just like in this LT, we have these number of chairs that are supposed to contain certain number of people in this class. It applies to fish as well. So in every pond, in every diameter of pond, the size of the pond, there is a demanding or a certain quantity that is supposed to take. So imagine you don't know this. A pond is supposed to take like 120,000 fries, and you stop 200,000. What is going to happen? It's actually going to kill the fish. Not because you want to know, but because we don't put in extra effort to build your ability to be class. So once again, not everything is taught in class, but you can learn some of these things for yourself by taking internships. Is that okay? Alright. Water quality management. Personally, I didn't even know much about water quality management. It was until I started working that I even knew that we had test kits for measuring your nitrates, ammonia, and all these kinds of things. Right now, if I ask an aquaculture student, even in final year, how high ammonia and high nitrates and nitrites affect fish health, are I going to get an answer to that? Who can help me, please? Who can help me with that? I would actually appreciate it. Hello? Any volunteer?
Question again.
For 100 cities.
Hey. Honestly, I want some. From me and some.
My name is CVH, and I'm also the president of Arusha University. I'm in my final year. So with fish as water content, high levels of ammonia deplete oxygen, and then with oxygen it's one of, if not the most critical parameter for water quality. And with depletion of oxygen, you can record high mortalities in a short time. So that condition is known as parakeet. And with this high mortality, it happens in a very short time, and you lose most of your fish person economically.
That's right. So imagine you have a farm and you realize you put to work in your money, you measure your money and it's very high. You've not recorded a lot of mortalities yet. What are you supposed to do?
Okay, so first thing you're supposed to do is change water. If after that, and then if you have aerators, you switch them on so that the water aerates. But then the first thing you're supposed to do is change water and then extract the waste. It can be feces or eating feed out of the water.
When you have this, thank you. And then we have our feed formulation and nutrition. As most of you know, feed is one of the most expensive things in aquaculture, right? And over the years, most of you or most of us take projects where that we want to substitute certain proteins for some other things so that we will be cheap and all this kind of stuff. It's not too late. You can come up with something, farmers will come on it, and that will be your daily bread. Or you become a household name for yourself. So apart from the fact that you learn just feed formulation, you can go ahead and do your research. What are some of the things that you can substitute? Is it soil you can substitute for cockroach? Is it soil you can substitute for maggot? How is it going to help with the growth of the fish? Just something you should be innovative so that you help yourself. Alright. Security protocols. These ones, most of you know about it already. And my stress is on data analysis and record keeping. Data analysis is so much important in every field you find yourself, and most especially in agriculture. Your boss will not stand there and watch you kill his fish and give him absolutely no reason. He comes to ask you what happened and you tell him, I don't know. How would you feel if you were the one? You won't be happy. And it's not that he will take the pride in sacking you, but then he has to let you go. Because you cannot come and corrupt his daily bread. So please, take courses in data analysis. There are lots of platforms, lots of schools that are taking part-time classes in this data analysis and all these kind of things. Learn data analysis. For your own self, you might not even find yourself in the industry, but then wherever you find yourself, data analysis actually plays a very critical role. Your Power BI, your Microsoft Excel, even, how do we call it? Your Tableau and all this kind of stuff plays a very critical role. So in aquaculture, you keeping data and your data analysis skills helps with the growth rates. It tracks the weight and size of your fish over time, and it helps to keep your water quality records, your feed conversion ratios, disease and mortality records, so that anytime, any day, when something happens and you are being called upon to answer, you have something to give to your employer and not just stories, because no employer is interested in the stories that you have to give. Fish or aquaculture is an industry where you constantly keep pumping money into the water and you don't even know what is coming out of it until the day of harvest. So imagine you stock 200,000, you keep pumping feed, you don't keep any records. To the best of your knowledge, you have 2,000 in there, 200,000 in there. But we all know that is not possible. Fry mortalities happen. A lot of things happen inside the water that you have no idea of. But if you don't keep records, how are you going to explain at the day of harvest when your boss is expecting 200,000 fish to be harvested and you harvest only 50,000? Are you supposed to arrest him? Because you're supposed to pay for it if you are not giving a tangible reason why you have that. But then if you have your data available and you show it to him, he's human, right? It's not all the time that you have like 100% inside the water. But then with your data to explain this and this happened, you cannot do anything. So let's just take data analysis and record seriously. Industry expectation, strong technical knowledge and practical skills, and strong work ethic and problem-solving abilities. I know that most of us are critical thinkers in the sports, but sometimes we should be a critical thinker at the sport. You don't always have to look like a stupid person before your employees or even your subordinates. Imagine as a manager or as a supervisor, something happens, your people come to you and you are now standing there and they are not even going to take you seriously. Or you don't need a promotion at work. Everybody needs a promotion, right? So let's just work on our critical thinking abilities and then our ability to identify and solve operational challenges efficiently, adaptability to new technologies and changing trends in the industry. Data-driven decision makers, as I said earlier, your proficiency in record keeping, data analysis, farm performance and tracking, your ability to use digital tools for water quality monitoring and production management. How many of you have actually seen a geometer before?
True.
How many of you have used the geometer before? Apart from who else? Yourself. That's 2, 3. Who else? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So that's like just 10 people out of how many people seated here? Or not all of you are into agriculture. Some are doing forestry.
Yes.
Or some are doing forestry.
Yes.
Are the forestry people dominant here right now?
No.
How many of you actually take internships with farms and not all these fancy Ghana water company, cocoa board, I'm interning with cocoa board, I'm interning with this, and at the end of the day, you don't employ you because you don't have protocol? I'm not against the men, but my ladies, let's add value to ourselves. It's not always that one who will come for you. That's not
Oh,
always
Odogo
the
Para.
case. There are lots and lots of opportunities for women in agriculture. I had the opportunity to go to Kenya and Tanzania just because of agriculture. My boss came took me along for a meeting.
Oh.
It was fun, let me put it that way, because I didn't think that because of this industry, I would actually have the opportunity to travel and walking around, women in agriculture, and just parading around. I see if you are beautiful, they will give you the contract. If you are hardworking, you will get the contract.
You are beautiful.
Before I came in, Solomon was presenting on something in agriculture. But recently, people are actually going and not into catfish farming because they say that they are tired of or whatever the reason is. And processing is a very difficult barrier right now. So as you are sitting here, you just ask yourself, what can you do to improve upon the post-harvest of catfish in Ghana? Even if not in Ghana, you can target a particular area that this is what I want to do. I have a friend who makes over 10,000 cedis a month. He is not a fish farmer. He just buys 400 grams to 500 grams of catfish, smokes and sells to the market women. He doesn't buy feed. He doesn't incur any electricity cost. Nothing. Just because the farmer do not know what to do with his fish. He sat down and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and it's fetching him money. be the problem. And if you are just in school, it's not bad to be in school, that's not what I'm saying. But after school, don't let it end there. Aquaculture is more like medicine or any of those courses where as soon as you feel like you'll be employed, you can do a lot for yourself just by bridging some of these gaps in between the industry, and you are good to go. So, as I was saying, understanding of supply chain and logistics and the market trends, that's what I just spoke about. Business and entrepreneurial mindset. Frank spoke about that as well. Strong communication and leadership skills. Your ability to communicate findings, write reports, and engage stakeholders. So whenever you guys are being asked to do presentations, whenever you are asked to do a particular project, don't feel like they are worrying you, or don't feel like this person is a good presenter, you'll be the one to present me, I cannot do it. Nobody is a good presenter. We all learn it over here. But always, if you don't want to contribute in any aspect because there's one good presenter in your group, when you find yourself out there one day, how are you going to go about it? So let's just work on that as well. Leadership in managing farm workers, coordinating production, and training new staff. This point right here is very, very, very tricky. So where I work in a lot of material. No offense to any material here. You people do not like to speak English even when you understand English. And imagine you find yourself in between 20 materials, you are leading them and you cannot speak the way. Gossips here and there, you've done this, you've done that. But then as a leader, what are you supposed to do about that? It's not always that you wear your boxing gloves, you're going to fight. No. You might even be beaten even before you get in. You should have leadership skills, how to resolve and manage conflicts, how to approach problems, and all this kind of stuff. I tell you, it's not easy to work with men, and aquaculture is being dominated by men. And if you are leading them, it's not easy at all. But then that's when you have to work on yourself, know the approach that you're supposed to use, and you'll be able to coordinate and train some of this new stuff. And then collaboration with researchers, suppliers, and policy makers. Unfortunately, in Ghana, I don't know, maybe we are now developing that trend, but then we don't really have fixed prices for lots of things. Farm A sells their fingerlings at a different price, Farm B sells at a different price as well. Some of you can actually sit down, develop a plan, visit Fisheries Commission with your proposals. Who knows? You might be accepted and you may tell me you want to TV. And then these are some of the emerging trends in aquaculture. Smart aquaculture, precision farming, recirculating aquaculture systems. For this RAS system, most of you have seen it before at the school farm, right? Okay. Sustainable and alternative feed, genetic advancement and selective breeding, the IMTA, blockchain traceability in aquaculture, climate resilient aquaculture. These are some of the things that you can actually even just take a picture of, look into it, and find where you fit and work on that for yourself. And recommendations for students. You seek opportunities for field work in hatcheries, fish farms, and processing plants. Engage in volunteer or part-time roles to build practical knowledge. You invest in your continuous learning. You follow industry trends and research applications to always stay informed in the industry. You enhance problem solving, leadership, teamwork, and adaptability. And I cannot stress enough on taking internships at the right places. I did natural never did any internship in an aquaculture farm because all my mates were like, oh, we are interested in the water, we are not interested in the fish. I like the water, I don't like the fish. What are you going to do at Ghana Water Company? What are you going to do there? And at the end of the day, they would employ those whose degrees fit their roles in their jobs. Unless your father is part of those that is in power, you stay home. But then if you make yourself relevant, if you intend with the right firms, why not? Most people that come to intern with us in our company are mostly being employed. Look for internship opportunities. There is John will speak about Wish. How many of you have heard Wish before? Yes, Wish organizes an internship for students, and don't worry, we provide accommodation. We even give money on top of that. Who does that? Clap for Wish. But then mostly it's not for students who are still in school because it's like a 4 months training. So you can just put it as part of your calendar when you are done with school. Even whilst you are doing your service, you can seek for permission, come and train yourself for 4 months. You gain that knowledge for yourself, get a little money in your pocket that can help you buy 1 or 2 trampoline tanks. You get over 500 pieces of fingerlings. You can start from there. Help will come, but then if you don't start, what are you going to present to an investor to actually invest in whatever thing that you are doing? So let's just take note of that. So I will end by saying that take the next step toward a successful career in aquaculture, because aquaculture is very promising, a very, very promising industry, mostly for the ladies. Mostly for the ladies. So I just hope that you've taken something from me today. You work on yourself, you take courses in data analysis, you take internships with the right people, and you'll be employed. If not even be employed, you can start something for yourself. Thank you for paying attention to me. Opportunities will not grant. They have to run together. Do we have any questions, please? Do we have any questions?
Thank you very much, Miss David. I want to ask this question. I remember you were the first batch that took the REACH program as a student interns at Josefa. And then since then, I haven't heard anything if they are still doing it or they've stopped now. Because when you were talking, you made mention of for people who are done with school. So I don't know if there is still opportunity for students for the REACH program.
Opportunity for students. And as you said, yours was the first of its kind. So we were testing the waters to see how it goes. But then we realized that we were not effectively able to teach you guys what we wanted to teach you because of the time period. That is why this time around, we are no more taking students, but then after school. So that with everything that you learn here, you come and learn something. And when we give you the money, we know you put it to good use and don't use it for iPhones and laptops whatsoever. Is that okay?
Alright, thank you. I wanted to actually do this about the aquaculture background. How can we come there to maintain it?
Thank you very much. Recently, we are even more interested in those who do not have aquaculture background, because those who do not know anything about the industry are very clear. They really want to do more. it shouldn't be that as you are applying, you don't know anything at all. Because before you show interest in something, you should at least have a little knowledge about what you want to do. Is that right? So you should just have a certain interest before you can actually pick it to be part of our training.
Okay, let's second question. Please, I wanted to know the name of your thing so that at least we could look up and log in.
Flowcell Farms Limited. Flowcell Farms. You can search Flowcell Farms on Facebook. Yes, you can ask the organizers. Solomon has been there, your president, Mighty, quite a couple of them. So you can just go to them and then ask.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask if your social farms internship program, is it the same as Bush? Or per semester you offer internship programs for the first year? So
Flowcell Farms internships and Bush internships are not the same thing. Which collaborates with Flowcell for the paid internships, but then the internships organized for students as a farm is not a paid one. But we do accept students after every semester. Why answer that question?
Thank you very much. So please, with the intention, do you teach students who are not having aquaculture background? Because I'm a true student.
Yes, I can access.
I happen to be in aquaculture by God's grace. Anytime you ask them, mining Google. So if I had you right to start being a true student, so
Fisheries by the way.
So my question is, do you accept students who want to do their internship who don't have their backgrounds in aquaculture?
Yes. Thank you very much. Are there any more questions? Are there any more questions?
Thank you very much. My question is simple. You talked about lots of things you can look at, and I also want to know, is it good or is it important as a young person to specialize in one area or look at very broad things and then pick out what can fit this for you? Because you talked about data analysis, you talked about internships in aquaculture. How can we fit all of these into one bracket?
It actually goes hand in hand. So when it comes to developing yourself as a student, as an individual, everything that you mentioned comes in play. It might not come now, but sometimes you develop it when you get the job. Okay? And then when it comes to these data analysis courses that I spoke, it's very necessary. You need to have it to equip yourself because, as I said, you need to stand out. So apart from that, you can pick something that is unique to you, that you are best at, that will make you stand out. It's all about standing out. So it might not necessarily be any of those things that I mentioned, but then it might be something that is still needed because I'm not sure I mentioned everything that you need to know for yourself. So it can be anything that you want to just work on that.
Hello. Miss, please, I'm Linda, the Vice President for the association. And I want to know if Flowcell Farms can collaborate with the association and provide slots for students if they want internship.
Yes, we can do that. So you write your reports, you bring your proposals, and we can discuss that. Is that okay?
But how many people will be allowed?
to ask, is there any requirement towards your internship? Like, some companies prefer those in level 300 only. So those that we are in 100 and 200, mostly they don't like us to be an intern. So I want to ask, are you picking from 100 to 300 or you are going by only those level 300?
We pick everyone. 100, 200, 300. The only requirement is you being willing to learn, you being a hardworking student, and basically just showing interest in whatever thing that you'll be doing over there. At the end of the day, by securing yourself a job, you have no idea. So it's open to everyone.
Okay. Opportunity awaits everybody equal. Thank you, Madam.
Alright, thank you. You don't get to know the time is needed, which program they open their portal so that it will come.
Yeah, so currently we have the first batch interning right now. They came in February and they will leave in May. So from there, the next one will follow as well. So see these people, take Floater Farms handle because that's where we post slots for internship and you'll be notified and then you can apply for them. Sometimes extra credit is being given to tech people because I set an example, you know. Then you know ones I was actually part of the first ever interns for Wish. And let me say I just picked for you guys. So far as you are from tech, probability that you will be picked is very high. So it's for only 5 people though. And the ladies are not setting good examples for us. So recently, though we write ladies are encouraged to apply, we do not pick them. The issues with I cannot step in the pond, my leg is paining me, my skin will get dark, my hair is itchy, so it's fine. So the men are now being encouraged to apply and we're picking guys, okay?
Please, let's give it out to Madam David. She has indeed set a legacy for us to follow. So before we take the next presentation, I want all of us to be up. We've been sitting for a very long time. Please, let's stand up, 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 let's stand up. So yes, during all these presentations, we noted something over there, and that was networking. That was networking. So I want us to move around. Everybody should at least greet 5 people, get to know their names, and then come back to your seats. Greet 5 people, get to know their names, and then come back to your seats.
You know your name?
What's your name?
Hello.
Okay. What's your name?
It is like a right.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Greet 5 people, guys.
Okay. Yeah, what's your name?
Greet 5
Good morning. What's your name? Oh, okay, I'm Solomon. Hello. Good morning. What's your name? Priscilla. Oh, okay. Hello. Good. I'm Solomon.
Oh, okay. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Senior. Charlie, what's your name? Dennis. I'm Solomon. Hello, Vice President. What's your name? Linda. I'm Solomon.
Okay, so I think it is time to get back to our seats. We will do more of this when we close. We will do more of this when we close. Please, let's get back to our seats. Let's get back to our seats. Let's settle. Let's settle. Let's settle. So, the presentation is actually going to be a talk on the value chain in the field of aquaculture. What is the value of aquaculture in our present day society? So please, audience, help me welcome the person who is going to do us the honor of giving us this presentation. And that person will be Mr. John D. Muzoro. Please forgive me for the wrong pronunciation.
Okay, so as has been introduced, my name is John Domozolo. Students are in the 20s, 17, 1801.
Hey.
Index number 53734. So I sat in this LT between 2011 and 2015. I'm a freshman student. So it's nostalgia to be back here. And as the leader said, in front, we all didn't have this opportunity. So I'd like to thank the organizers. This is a step in the right direction. And before I proceed, I would like you all to please clap for the leader again. Did any of you see the quality of the slides? How colorful they were, the quality of it. Did you notice that? Yeah. Do you know these days we no longer do slides with just PowerPoint? We moved to using Canva and other multimedia for making slides. That's an important skill to have. Imagine that I need to make a talk and I can call any of you and tell you, oh, this is what I'm going to do. These are my speaking points. Could you help make me slides? And overnight, you send those slides to me and this is what they are. They look so good that I get an applause. Do you think I will not be appreciative to you? Yeah, so that's a skill as easy as that. They were not very ready, they were very colorful, you could fool. Alright? And so I'm going to talk about the ammonia thing. There is one thing about ammonia too that we don't take into account, which is pH. So that is how comes a lot of people do tarpaulin tanks and in no time they start saying their fishes are dying. It's because pH actually plays a huge role in ammonia toxicity. So ammonia at the pH of 7 and ammonia at the pH of 8.0 is 100 times more lethal than ammonia at pH of 7 because of the power of logarithm, isn't it? Alright, so the more alkaline your water is, it just makes pH more toxic. So you can have your fish doing very well in the morning, and by afternoon they are dying or they are very stressed and you don't understand what is happening. Get that pH jump by 1 or sometimes by 2 happens. And this happens a lot with tablet tank because there's no soil to exchange that. Alright, so please forgive me for taking the back. And she mentioned about data analysis, and that's very important. So for instance, last month, March, so last month, the revenue we got from harvest declined by a certain margin, and that was because our FCR has increased by 0.06. And the guys were a bit down because they don't get their harvest bonus, but the question is what happened? And straight away I could tell what happened was that we had mixed fishes of different sizes. In effect, we just undid our grading into the same stock, and what happened was that the feeding wasn't efficient, and because the feeding wasn't efficient, it affects your FCR. They don't perform very well, and it showed up in the numbers. That is what data analysis does for you. So straight away I can tell that this is by this not doing, but that not doing would show up in the financials. And if you knew this and you went to a farm and you saw them doing the mixing sizes or not even grading, you could tell them, hey, this is going to end up with a bad FCR for you. Alright, so that's what data analysis can do. We don't teach it in class, but if you understand it a bit, and it's not a very complicated thing. It's as easy as Excel, it's as easy as knowing the trend of things and applying it. And I was going to ask a question. What is oxygen supposed to be on a DO meter if in atmospheric air? If you calculated your DO meter, what is your oxygen supposed to be? Or how do you know your oxygen doesn't work well when it's reading what? It's going to be around 7 milligrams per liter. Alright? Plus or minus, they might be 7.2, it might be 7.3 because atmospheric air varies, but roughly it will be about 7. So if you took a DO meter from this box and it starts reading 4 point something, there's something wrong. Or it starts reading 8, 9, there's something wrong. You need to calibrate it or you need to service it. Alright, so going to my main speech, how do you know John wasn't a good student in school? Because he doesn't have a PowerPoint. Alright, so hands up, how many of you did not choose aquaculture or natural as your first course? Hands up. Everybody. That's true. Even my hand is up. Because my first lab was IT. Yeah. I like computers. I came in to study computers. I never got computers. I got computers in UCC, but because my friends wanted me here, they actually impressed on me. They lied to me. That, oh, don't worry, just come. We'll change the course afterwards. Never happened. How many of you came thinking you could change the course? But my dad really wanted me to do have a degree. He didn't mind if it was in wearing locks. Do I regret it? Maybe. Maybe not. How many of you think you are in the wrong course? Okay. Somebody thinks he's in the wrong course. How many people think you are in the right course? Okay. There are those who still are not sure.
Yeah. You are not sure.
Now, I'd like to tell you that whether you think you are in the right course or the wrong course, you are right. You are both right. Because it's really up to what you do with yourself and not what the school or the education does with you. So, as I told you, my first love was IT, I came into Aqua, but I didn't really know I was going to do fisheries. I'm just the type that I don't like very big classes. So when you get to 10 years and people are branching, everyone is going to agro. I'm supposed to talk about value chains, but both Frank and Davida have already done justice to value chain. Maybe the only thing I'll talk about is the definition of it, and that's it. They've already done justice to it. So in my own is to speak heart to heart to you. Do you like it? If you don't like it, let me take my bag and go. So I went to fisheries primarily because everybody was going to agro and to forestry. And I think it was wildlife and fisheries that usually, because the caption is that the fisheries teachers lecturers are wicked. And it's true, you never get the first class in fisheries. You have to contact you never get the first class. You always mafia you, like for the group. Now, I got into fishing because it was a small class. I met Professor J. Martin on the farm. I like working with him because it was quite practical. I loved it. Here I am today. Did I make the wrong decision? Did I fall into the right decision by choice? Maybe. By accident? Maybe. But it was really what I did with my time here. In final year, I was riding bicycle, going to school from day and night. That Abogoya was my project work. We raised 4 tons of fish in my final year, and then we actually commercialized the school farm. So there's so much you can do with yourself. It doesn't matter if you did geology and wanted to do agriculture to make the way. In any case, the top guys in the industry are finance guys. So in met the CEO of Yalele, Zambia. I think they are probably the biggest farm in Africa now. He's a finance guy, he's a banker. So the question is, when you want to do the cocoa board and then the gather water and then those things, when you make a lot of money from there, you are looking for something to put this in, to invest it in. And now they call your classmates. Oh, Charlie, your fish farm meeting, I go bring the money. No, alright. But if finance guys can come in and then do so well in our sector, that shows we can also cross carpet, even with our skill, and we'll be a lot better. Alright? So that's my first speaking point to you. The second is the difference between big and small is what? It's big. The difference between big and small is big. It's very large. If you took one size and then you took a size, or for instance, if all you were worth is $10,000 and another person was worth $10 million, you know what it is? That's 1,000 times you. So please, dream big. It doesn't matter your situation, dream big. Someday you probably manage the biggest farm in Africa, or you probably establish the biggest farm in Africa, but you cannot hack it big. That is the truth. Hack it big means you cannot make it big instant. It doesn't work that way. How do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time, isn't it? So you cut small, you eat tomorrow, you come and cut small, and in maybe 10 years you finish eating the elephant. So everything is small incremental steps. I see you were all interested with the internships. Yes, you are coming to the internship. What solutions do you have for the farm? What solutions do you have for anybody? And that is where you start from. Just look at solutions around you. You've already done justice to that. I shouldn't talk so much. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. I went out to PBA. PBA is Pillbrook Aquatic. So when I say PBA, that is. So I went out to Pillbrook as an employee after school. Actually wasn't going to work for Pillbrook. I was going to do a contract for some guys that were doing some work at Pillbrook. It was supposed to be 6 months contract. I did it in 3 months. Now the PBU guys liked it, and I met some Thai guys. Now the agriculture industry is dominated by expatriates. because they had the technology, it's only expatriate managers that they bring in to run these. So there were some Thai guys that were there, and I looked at them kill a lot of fish, I think in excess of 40,000. And I was like, I could do better, because I had just raised fish in school. Now the truth is that the conditions are not the same, it's not similar. I'm still a butterfly by then, I'm not a bird. But to be willing to do that alone gave me a stepping foot. I got into PPA as an employee and rose up to become farm manager, and today I own it. So I started not knowing I was going to get to owning it or something. Maybe I was going to go to Sterling or somewhere to go and study abroad. It doesn't excite me to study anymore. So these things happen. Just started small from somewhere. And I've also talked of, I always have this story I give, a tale of two farms. So back in 1999, there were the two farms, these were the two farms that started in Ghana commercially. One of them currently produces 15,000 metric tons annually. The other, I doubt they are doing half of 500. But these are farms that started around the same time. And you know, once you are based there, you get support. They have their own share of challenges, but you just have to keep working at it. So I'm telling you that focus and direction and determination can tell you where you can go. One of them is handling at 500 metric tons. The other is at 15,000. So you need to first of all attempt to carry the whole load for others to support you to carry. My third speaking point would be, don't be too comfortable with the city. That's our biggest challenge with young people coming out to work in the farms. She was telling you, we have people who come in for only intention, and they have problems stepping into the water. They have problems even handling fish, or they don't want. And the idea, I guess they probably would have loved it if all they did was sit in the office and then enter the data and then make all the complex graphs and those things. But what you forget is that the fish doesn't have a copy of those graphs and proposals. The fish doesn't have a copy of your feeding chart, no matter how fancy it is. You have to interface with your fish itself. Sometimes verify that what you are getting from the fish or the data from your other colleagues is correct. So don't be too comfortable at being in the cities. As I've seen on somebody's car in Accra, it was a brand new Prado. They wrote at the back, Sika Wabush. Sika Wabush. And I've never forgotten it. Yeah. So I live full time away from Accra. I live very close to where the water is, and that is where I apply my trade. So that is it. And sometimes there's a tendency to feel that I want to work. I haven't been to the city for weekend for a long time for this. You think you are the first person to suffer for this? The guy who started the biggest farm in Ghana, second biggest in Africa. You know how he started? In Asociari. Even after that, they are good. So you can imagine 1997 what the road was like. There was riding motorbike from Accra. Moto. How many of you ride moto? In Accra traffic. You ride moto. Yeah. I'm sure your girlfriend is planning to leave you by now. There's riding motorbike. You ride motorbike to his farm. This is Bruni. To his farm. He's there in the middle of nowhere. He's doing everything today. If you want to buy any car he wants to buy, you buy it. But that is the hassle. So sometimes even me, I feel, and I found out this because my first 3 years of working for my farm, I was riding a motorbike. I think more than so. Even now, I still have a motorbike in my house. So I was riding, and sometimes I complain. It's a shame because you go somewhere, everybody else is parking big cars, and then it's me on a bike. And mentor, Karen Vereka told me, oh, when I first came out to Togo Farms, the gentleman was riding a motor. I was like, so it's not me alone. And that is it. I mean, great things actually start small. So he started in the middle of nowhere. And please, this is somebody who had done his master's in aquaculture in Hawaii. Please, I didn't say in Lagos. In where? A beautiful island, Hawaii. He knows what's up. And of all the countries he chose to come to Ghana, of all the places he could be as a traveler, probably he didn't have life by then. But he still not go to the place, so imagine where he was. Alright, so great things start really small. Alright. I'd like to tell you the story of how many of you like football, by the way? Football. How many of Right to Dream Academy? Do you know who started it? Do you know who started Right to Dream? By the way, I don't like football. Not that I don't watch football, I don't follow it because I'm an Arsenal guy. So you can But I like the story of Right to Dream, the guy who started it because, by the way, they are not too far from where I live. Almost around the Agosto area. Now, Right to Dream, the guy who started is called Tom Venom. Tom Venom came out to Ghana. He's a Dutch guy. He came out to Ghana, I think he was probably in his late teens, early 20s. Came to Ghana to intern with Hasselhoff. Now he came and he realized just how much good raw talent was on the streets of Ghana. You find boys playing football barefooted. And Charlie, what they will do? Raw talent. These other guys that have gone to the gym for any special coordinated training, they've not done. These are raw talents. Some of them will be eating good food. Look at the opportunity. And there are clubs in Ghana. So he started. He came back. He started. Took some of them, he rented rooms, and they still with him. He was working with them gradual. Today, the black stars have come from Right to Dream. Now he's bought a club abroad. So you can spot opportunities even in the most desert of places. In the most desert of places. And I understand about in excess of 100.
19 years
So but what I'm trying to tell you is that they are skills from what you are learning about technology, whatever, that will help propel your business or propel whatever you are doing elsewhere. And it depends on what opportunities you are seeing in places. So I feel if I were to talk about value chain, I would be limiting you because even me, I cannot understand what the full value chain dynamics is. Because something as common as selling ice blocks, I believe, could be part of the opportunity in the agriculture value chain. Somebody sells catfish to sell. Somebody does a lot of things. But as young guys, go out, work anywhere. You don't like it, you can change course later. But learn anything. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in the kitchen. Okay, who knows? You might end up with a recipe that will transform how to that space. One thing I'll mention before my final speaking point would be you need to look at what you can make out of yourself or what opportunities you can harness from places. All right. In conclusion, I'd like to tell you the story of Scarface. How many of you have heard Scarface the lion. Okay. Okay, so tell me a bit about Scarface.
So I know a few things about Scarface the Lion, which I saw online. Yeah. So a few things I know are he's one of the known lions who fought like a king. He lived his life like a king. Some few informations I know are that lion fought a lot of hyenas. About I can't remember the number, but it was a victorious lion.
He killed